It's been 37 years since this program won the ACC Tournament Championship. A remarkable, astounding week for the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Well, this is an ACC Tournament Championship that will never be forgotten.
The job not done. And like I said from the jump, man, why not us?
And let the celebration begin in Raleigh.
We're going to Pittsburgh.
It's a scene Wolfpack fans have been waiting a generation for. For some, it's been the wait of a lifetime. Tonight in Raleigh, two new banners join the ranks of hallowed history in celebration of the team with the DJs that wouldn't stop the dance, the team that dared to dream. Why not us? College basketball is back. We're in Raleigh tonight, the home of the defending ACC champs, the NC State Wolfpack. Fresh off a Final Four appearance, they host the USC Upstate Spartans as we tip off the 2024-2025 season. Hello, everybody. We welcome you courtside alongside ACC champ Casey Morsell. I'm Andrew Sanders. So glad you could join us for what is a special night. The two banners unveiled. Casey, when you see that, what comes to mind?
Oh, yeah, this means so much to the NC State fan base. The story about how it all came about, right? Winning 5 games in 5 days. You don't see it often in college basketball. And the fact that this team was able to go on a Final Four run and hang 2 banners is historic. And this NC State team has to build on it.
Special team, special night. They're led by NC State head coach Kevin Keatts in his 8th season now with the Wolfpack. And you say trying to build off of last year's performance. It's a new team, but it doesn't mean it's young players necessarily. 7 players playing in their final year of eligibility. So it's some new pieces, but with some good experience.
Similar to last year, I think it'll take time. Right? I mean, you're adding so many new pieces. It takes time to all build the chemistry and grow as a team, right? And same thing with Upstate. Upstate's taking time with the new coach playing in his very first game. This group is going to take time to get going, and we're just excited just to be here in this great atmosphere.
Yeah, it is a new era for USC Upstate. The Spartans, led by Marty Richter, his first game as a head coach at the D1 level. He had coached in junior college previously, spent the last 6 seasons as an assistant at Drake. He has almost an entirely new team. They returned just 2 players and just 9 minutes of experience from a year ago. So a lot of new faces, but an exciting time for the Spartans. Ben Middlebrooks jumping it up with Mr. Dean, and we are underway in the 2024-25 season here at the newly renamed Lenovo Center in Raleigh. This is Jaden Taylor, new number. Fight for the rebound, an offensive rebound, and a stick back by Dontrez Styles, the transfer from Georgetown.
Strong move by Dontrez. One thing about this NC State team is they love to crash the glass on shots.
You get a look at the starters for the Spartans. Expected to play about 10 new players tonight. There are 13 newcomers on this roster. A deflection, but they're able to stick with it. Chico Johnson. This is Kamani Gregory. 3 to shoot. And a push underneath, and Middlebrooks, who gets the start tonight at the 5. The senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, going to be whistled for the foul.
Ben brings a great level of leadership to this team. Him and Mike O'Connell and Jaden Taylor, 3 contributors to the Final Four run. They're essential pieces to this NC State team.
Fresh 20 on the shot clock. Another deflection for the Wolfpack, and this time a turnover. Picked off by Marcus Hill. And the transfer turns it right back over. Pass intercepted by the freshman and the all-name team, Mr. Dean. Big swat by Middlebrooks. And the first basket for the Spartans goes to Daniel Helterhoff. He's playing the 5 tonight. An injury to Braylon Garcia. He'll be unavailable to go for the Spartans.
The matchup between Daniel and Middlebrooks is going to be a very physical matchup down low.
Taylor probing, creates for Middlebrooks, misses the bunny. They'll reset to your Butler transfer, Jaden Taylor, who's coming off the bench for the majority of that historic run last year. Styles with a flush. Casey, we're seeing early, NC State looks to be really strong in the front court this year.
Yes, Ben Middlebrooks adds a great level of toughness down low. Jaden Taylor does need to be aggressive, though. He's a scorer that they're going to play through a lot this season.
So we see the Spartans double the post. Middlebrooks makes them pay for it. Both of these teams, it's a short preseason, yeah, Casey, when you're trying to play with so many new players.
It goes by fast in the summertime.
This is Mr. Dean. Tough turnaround, and he banks it in over top of Styles' outstretched hand.
Those are shots that NC State wants you to shoot. They're very physical. And one thing that NC State needs to do better is guard the drives. That's something they struggled in a lot in the exhibition.
Marcus Hill gets to his spot and scores. That's what he did in junior college in 2 years. That's what he did at Bowling Green last year when he led the MAC in scoring. It'll be another Spartan turnover.
Ben Middlebrooks, once again, adding a certain level of toughness down low. He's a high-level shot blocker, and he puts pressure on the opposing offensive team.
NC State with an early lead, playing in front of a great crowd tonight. It was a hot ticket. Everybody in town wanted to be here for the unveiling of the banners. Styles can hit that three, doesn't this time. Another recycle on the boards. It's Middlebrooks. Little pick and roll, and O'Connell is fouled.
Mike O.C. does a great job reading ball screens. That's something that he does. When he comes off, he's always looking to pass. It's something he's looking to always set guys up. And that defender drop back, he did a great job of pulling up, drawing the foul.
So it'll be a couple of free throws for the fifth-year player, 3 years at Stanford, where he graduated in just 3. His second year at NC State, decided to come back. Both teams going to make some subs here. It'll be 3 new players for the Spartans. They're going to get Isaiah Skinner in, along with Nick Book, the 6'8 forward. Middlebrooks comes out, and Brandon Huntley Hatfield's transfer from Louisville will come in and play the 5.
NC State is going to pick up full court a lot in this game. One thing I would say is that NC State fits what Kevin Keats is looking for. This NC State team, the likes of having Brandon Huntley Hatfield, a very quick 5-man who can play full court and guard multiple positions.
Gregory trying to turn the corner on Hill. A backdoor cut and a flush by Mr. Dean. I did have to ask. I said, hey, is that the name on his birth certificate? They said yes. What an awesome name. Mr.
Cool name.
Dean flies high for the flush. First touch for Brandon Huntley Hatfield. Cross court skip. It's Hill.
NC State is going to have to hit shots. As we can see, they're starting to double Brandon Huntley Hatfield, and that's going to lead to a lot of open shots for NC State.
Drive into the paint by Britt Harris. He'll get it back top of the key with 17 to shoot. O'Connell got a deflection, tough shot over Huntley Hatfield. And the stick back is there. Isaiah Skinner, the redshirt junior from Mount San Jacinto College.
USC Upstate has a lot of transfers who were key contributors at their previous school. And this game is a key opportunity for them to showcase their skills against high-level competition.
Got a whistle away from the ball underneath. I think it's going to go against Book, pushing on Huntley Hatfield. That'll take us to our first media timeout. It's the Spartans with a 1-point lead. Welcome you back to the Lenovo Center, home of the NC State Wolfpack. Look at a season ago. 9-11 in the ACC, finished 10th. Andrew Sanders here with the champ Casey Morsell. Casey, look, it's no secret. Last year, the regular season didn't go the way you had envisioned it.
Yep.
Lost 4 straight going into the ACC tournament back in D.C., your hometown. What clicked for you guys? What changed?
Well, one thing, it takes time to figure out the recipe that works, right? And later on, or I guess at the right time, we found a recipe, a plan more in the half court. One thing we never succeeded in was the full court pressure. And when we decided to go back and guard as what we call the NBA 3 line, it worked for us, and we were able to be a high-level defenders, which made teams struggle on the offensive end.
5 wins in 5 days, and then a trip to the Final Four on top of it. Oh, a tough take and a finish by Chico Johnson. Redshirt freshman from Toledo, spent last year with Coach Richter at Drake, but redshirted, did not play. So that's his first collegiate bucket. Maybe a kickball? No, just a turnover.
This USC Upstate team is looking to drive.
And Coach Richter told us, look, if we're playing well, again, they have so many new pieces, they almost don't know what to expect. He said, one thing I can tell you, our guys are going to compete, and we want to play fast. They're going to see if they can play fast.
Very similar to NC State. Very similar. They love to run in transition, and they love to drive.
Big box out by freshman Bryce Hurd, who grabs the rebound, making his collegiate debut. The 4-star recruit was going to be a class of 2025 guy. He reclassified, signed with NC State in late July. Now here he is playing college basketball in November.
Interesting move by Kevin Keats, running 4-guard lineup against this USC Upstate team.
And a foul from behind. Isaiah Skinner fouling Bryce Hurd. Already the freshman, who, by the way, is one of the youngest players. Talk about reclassification. One of the youngest players in the country. In fact, he's believed to be the 4th youngest player in the nation. And already cleaning up the glass, and he'll go to the line looking for his first collegiate points. The 3rd team foul on the Spartans. Hurd, a 6'5" freshman from Chicago. Casey, earlier you said you feel like this team, and every team is different, you feel like this team really fits what Coach Keats is trying to do.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of speed, athleticism.
Exactly. Kevin Keats loves to get up and down, run in transition. And last year's team didn't fit necessarily the makeup to be the fastest in the country. That's something that Kevin Keats says a lot in practice, shoot around. He wants to be the fastest team in the country. And with the addition of Brandon Huntley Hatfield, he could fit that mold and build on what he wants to do.
Couple of made free throws. Good by Hurd, his first collegiate points. Trey Parker into the game, the freshman. NC State showing some pressure. Spartans a little out of sorts, but they get an open corner 3. And another good box out by Hurd. Whistle away from the ball. Huntley Hatfield tied up, and he's going to be called for the offensive foul as he got tied up with Helterhoff.
Huntley Hatfield has to be cautious with his foul. He has to be cautious. He's very physical, but NC State needs bigs. That's something that they're locking in is the front court.
Get a look off the ball. Look, he's trying to get position. Out of bounds, last touch by NC State. Looks like Coach Keats is going to get Styles back in the game. He'll replace Hurd, who gave him a couple good minutes. Oh, you were a 5-year player. It's been a little while. Well, you're still a young guy, right? But it's been a little while since you made your collegiate debut.
I'm old in college years.
But there's certainly got to be a few nerves when you're so many players on both teams making their debut tonight for their team, and some of them in college basketball in general.
Yes, this opening night game, and especially with what's at stake, right? The banner raising, it's always going to be nerves in this opening night.
Pass the alley-oop to Styles. And Parker with a kickball in the backcourt. Casey will get another look at this dunk. Dontrez Styles.
He's adding a great spark to this team. He's a guy who could play multiple positions, and the fact that he could play the 4 and stretch it on the offensive end. Today, he's been putting a lot of pressure on the rim, but he can also shoot it from 3, which adds a great spark to this NC State team.
Styles with a game-high 6 points already, and we get just a little glimpse at what you're talking about, how fast NC State wants to play.
As I said earlier, their goal is to be one of the fastest in the country.
Knocked out of bounds by the Wolfpack. And also, as always, a goal for Coach Keats. He wants, what, 40 deflections per game.
Yes, there's a guy on the sideline that's currently keeping track of that. I'm curious to see where they are right now. But that is the goal, 40 deflections. And usually when they get over 40, usually they tend to win. They have a much better record when they reach the 40 mark.
Gregory able to get to the middle of the floor, able to get to the cup and scoop it home.
Once again, USC Upstate is looking to drive. They haven't shot it great, but they're looking to drive, and that's something that NC State needs to guard if they want to win this game.
Gregory, who comes from junior college, Florida Southwestern, where 7 years ago, that's where Coach Richter was the head coach. Got a foul here, setting the screen. Is that on Taylor? It is his first, team's fourth.
Very accidental right there. There's a lot of movement with this Kevin Keats offense, and Jaden Taylor just ran the wrong direction.
Carmelo Atkins in the game, number 4 for the Spartans now. Gregory using his quickness. I think Huntley Hatfield bothered that shot, but the Spartans are playing hard, and they're getting to the offensive glass. There's a defensive rebound by Jaden Taylor. He'll be one of the leaders on the team this year, playing in his final year of college basketball. Hill, drive and dish. Corner 3, Styles. What a start by Dontrez Styles.
He's a huge spark to this NC State team. He's looking like the go-to guy for this NC State.
Styles playing the 4 at 6'6". Couple of years down the road at North Carolina before a year at Georgetown. Here he guards Dean and fouls him. So that foul will take us to our break. NC State with a 16-12 lead. Styles already has 9. Dontrez Styles with 9 early points, but he just picked up his 2nd foul as well. So he'll head to the bench. An impressive debut for him. We'll see if we see him in the next 11:39, the rest of this first half. But having a stretch 4 can do a lot for you offensively. We've already seen that from Styles.
He's been a huge spark for this NC State team, scoring 9 of the 16 points. Someone else is going to have to step up if they want to be in a good position heading into halftime.
First free throw, good by Mr. Dean. And just a freshman from Miami. He's been really assertive here early. Went at Styles, drew that 2nd foul. He gets both free throws as well. And Dean leading the way scoring-wise for the Spartans with 6 points. Dennis Parker Jr. into the game for NC State out of the timeout. Good to see him as he missed the exhibition against Lees McRae with an injury, but back healthy, ready to go. Gets a little zone here. Taylor trying to shoot him out of it. It'll stay on this end. Now, Dennis Parker Jr. missed the key stretch of that postseason with an illness, but he was the lone freshman last year and still had a big impact.
He was. He added a great spark to us at times in the regular season. He's a stretch 4 who could shoot it. He adds a certain level of versatility, similar to Dontrez Styles with the way he plays. It's good to see him out here tonight.
Middlebrooks lost the handle, turns it over, run out, Spartans, Gregory. Can't hit the layup, and now O'Connell on the push. Hill splits 2 and scores.
Great play by Mike O.C., pushing it with his eyes up. He's always looking to find the next man. He ends up finding Marcus Hill in transition.
Second basket for Hill. He's got 4 and a steal by Parker Jr. Again, the Wolfpack with numbers. O'Connell in rhythm. Timeout, Spartans. It's defense to offense, and the Pack making the Spartans play. Hey, they've hit 4 of their last 5.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Take a look, can you see into your imagination?
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. Come experience the flame grilled difference with 2 Whopper Juniors for just $5.
USC Upstate calling timeout as NC State's been able to turn defense to offense a couple of times here, Casey.
NC State is pressuring USC Upstate. They're forcing them to play fast and make quick decisions. They want you to shoot it early to propel NC State to go on a run in transition. As you can see here, NC State is bringing the pressure, and they're starting to turn it up as they're starting to score on the offensive end.
Nearly a steal by O'Connell in the backcourt. .15 to shoot for Book, the freshman from New Zealand. Another deflection. I think looking to draw a foul there was Chico Johnson. Didn't get the whistle. O'Connell left open again.
NC State starting to get hot. Once again, forcing turnovers leads to easy baskets for NC State in transition.
Mike O'Connell ended up shooting almost 38% from 3 a year ago, but he turned that up really during that run. His shooting improved, his playmaking improved.
Yeah, Mike O'Connell, when he was hitting shots on that run last year, it provided a different spark, because now teams like playing with DJ Burns and Mohamed Diarra, they drew so much attention, and the fact that he was starting to shoot at a high clip, it provided a different spark and propelled NC State to go on a major run.
Jaden Taylor called for the foul. He'll go out. And the NC State debut, collegiate debut for Paul McNeil Jr., the freshman from Rockingham, North Carolina, their highest rated freshman out of high school. They say he is an absolute bucket getter.
As you said, NC State's very excited about him. Happy to see him out here tonight.
Now, I don't want to draw any unfair comparisons, but the last freshman they said that about, his name was Terquavion Smith.
Terquavion Smith had 20 opening night. You know that?
I did not, but I'm not surprised, let me tell you. Hill tipped in by Huntley Hatfield. It's a 10-0 Wolfpack run. Kanye Jones left the 3 short. You see NC State wants to play at lightning pace. O'Connell nearly turns it over. McNeil. Well, you can hear the building get a little excited for his first touch. Gregory a deep 3. That won't go.
Can only imagine how fun it is playing in your home state. You get the opportunity to have all your family come and watch your games. Great shot by Paul McNeil right there.
And to see the bio on McNeil. That's not a typo, by the way. 71 points in a single game. That was a 74-year-old record in North Carolina high school basketball that he broke.
That's big time. You don't see that every day.
Stepped on the sideline, turned it over to Drew McConnell. 71 points. Some people, I mean, that's a season's worth of scoring, right? Get that in a high school game.
Exactly.
That's what, 8-minute quarters?
Yeah, yeah. Without a shot clock.
Trey Parker handling the backup point guard duties. Spartans throwing a little different look here. In the zone, Parker to McNeil. Oh, Breon pass, Skies for the rebound. The rare 4th-year player at the same school. He's a senior for NC State. Parker buries the triple. He's one of the most followed, not just freshmen, but players in the country. Has combined over 1 million followers on TikTok and Instagram, mostly because of his dunking ability. But they say he's a lot more than just a dunker. We might see one from Huntley Hatfield.
NC State is getting hot, and it's all starting on the defensive end. They're pressuring them and forcing USC Upstate to play fast.
That'll put an end to the run. Are they going to give Kanye Jones the and one? We'll take a timeout. The Wolfpack off and running here in the season opener. Make a three. We said, hey, look, he's a lot more than just an exciting dunker, but this was at prime time with the Pack. Jumped over a couple teammates and Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, you just don't see that every day. I mean, his type of athleticism is on a different level. You should see some of the dunks that he practices. They're insane.
Parker was going to come to NC State a year ago, decided to spend an extra year with Overtime Elite. And they are happy to have him. Right now, you know, could he play a backup point guard role at times? Right now, he's out there on the floor with O'Connell. By the way, they did give Kanye Jones the basket. Free throw good as well for the and one. It's a 14-point lead for NC State. That snapped a 15-0 run as Helterhoff is going to be called for a foul. He's got his hands full tonight with Huntley Hatfield.
That guy's built. I mean, he just adds a certain level of physicality to this NC State team. And that was something that he really did at Louisville. I mean, he was just so tough, and that was what made them so tough to score on in the paint.
Honorable mention all ACC last year at Louisville. He also finished top 5 in the ACC's most improved player voting. Catch and shoot for Parker. Tough shot falling away, and he missed it short. Well, Book picked up his dribble maybe where he shouldn't have. Got away with it. Jones. He got stuffed on the rim, but they say he was fouled on his way.
Once again, as you see there on the shot fake, USC is looking to drive. They're looking to get in the paint. They haven't shot it great, so they figure that's how they're going to score at a high level, is by getting in the paint.
Jones, who spent 1 year in the ACC at Boston College. He spent his last couple of years at Buffalo. He averaged 8 points a game last season. Just 9 appearances.
This Upstate team, they're going to play hard. Met with Marty Richter earlier, and some of the key principles that he said is that they're going to compete, play hard, and play unselfish. We're seeing that here tonight.
Pass a tough take, and he scores it.
Strong move by Breon Pass, finishing with the left hand. It's a high-level move.
Yeah, in this era of college basketball, teams all across the country are going to have, you know, chemistry, a lot of new faces, but I don't know if anybody can compete with, you know, the 13 newcomers and returning just 9 minutes. So this is truly a debut, not just, you know, for a few players, but basically the entire team, and of course the new era under Coach Richter. They played well at times when they've taken care of the basketball in this first half.
Yeah, especially on the offensive end. They're mixing it up on defense, adding a little zone, a little offense, switching out the ball screen coverage. NC State is handling it very well.
Huntley Hatfield called for a push away from the ball. So there's a look at the roster breakdown. But you know what? Coach Richter, remember, his first head coaching job a few years ago in junior college, that's what he's used to. You know, you have players for a year or two. So the turnover that has, you know, become the norm in college basketball, he feels comfortable with that, and he feels like he can build a winner. His recruiting pitch, he told us, was be the first. They have never made the NCAA tournament. The pitch to the guys is, hey, you can be a part of the first team to do it.
That's a great opportunity to go and make your mark on at USC Upstate. As you can see with NC State, having the opportunity to make history and raise a banner, you're going to be remembered forever. And at USC Upstate, their non-conference is at a high level. They got a lot of great matchups. And Marty Richter, he puts guys in a great position. He's coached at every level except NAIA. And he's experienced. He's comfortable coaching in these type of atmospheres.
O'Connell turns it over, an unforced error there. And that's the 6th turnover for NC State in this first half. It's been a little sloppy. That was kind of one of the calling cards for not just your team last year, Casey, but your 3 years at NC State. You guys took care of the ball at a high level.
That's a major key, is taking care of the ball. I mean, when you take care of the ball, that's more opportunities that you have to score and less opportunities for teams to get easy baskets in transition.
It's going to be called an offensive foul on Britt Harris. Nine team fouls on NC State, so double bonus the rest of the way for the Spartans. That's just the 5th team foul on USC Upstate. NC State with a good bit of foul trouble with Huntley, Hatfield, Stiles, and Taylor, all with 2. Hill turns it over again. That one was stripped by Chico Johnson. Harris off the window for 2.
NC State has to do a better job with ball security. USC Upstate wants the pressure. They're going to play hard. If you don't get a shot, at least the easy opportunities for USC Upstate.
Say basketball, a game of runs. It was a 15-0 run for NC State. It's a 6-0 run right now for the Spartans. The freshman, Hurd, drives the baseline, and he was fouled on his way to the rim. It'll be on the floor. Coach Keats playing with quite a few lineups, and again, Middlebrooks gets the start. He could certainly start at the 5. You'd expect Huntley Hatfield would probably start quite a bit at the 5 also this year, however they want to do that. But right now you have essentially 3 starters on the bench with 2 fouls. So an opportunity for some of the other guys out here to show that. I know it might be too early in the season, Casey, to talk about rotations, but as a player, you've got to be hungry for those minutes, and this is an audition to get more minutes.
That's one thing about Kevin Keats on opening night. He will give everyone an opportunity to at least show what they can do. One thing about practice is not like the game. Playing here in PNC with these fans, there's nothing like it. So here is a great opportunity for guys to have an opportunity to play later on in the season.
Defense by Middlebrooks, and Hurd is smothering Dean as it tipped out of bounds, his pass into the NC State bench, where those 3 guys are there with the 2 fouls. Also, Mike James, who is a transfer from Louisville and expected to be a starter on this team. He is not playing tonight, out with an injury at his knee scope. They say he's out 2 to 4 weeks.
He's going to be a great addition when he returns, right? His versatility, he can shoot it, guard multiple positions, and that's something.
And a shot clock violation as Middlebrooks protects the rim.
NC State fans love a good shot clock violation. You can hear it in the atmosphere tonight.
We went to practice, and there was some buzz about Middlebrooks maybe being the most improved player. They're really excited about him and his senior season. What does he bring to this program?
He just adds a certain level of physicality down low. One thing he does need to improve on is finishing, but he is starting to finish at a high level that we saw in practice. And it's good to see that they're playing through him a lot more.
He can do that too.
That's a great addition to add to your game.
Middlebrooks steps out and knocks down the 3. That's something he did just once last year. And there's the physicality you're talking about, Casey. Just 1 3 a year ago, but he can step out and shoot it, as can Huntley Hatfield. These 2 5s can stretch the floor. Pass finds him. And it's 5 quick points for Middlebrooks here on back-to-back possessions.
Ben adds a great spark. And we saw it on the Final Four run. But he gets going, they're very hard to beat.
The lead back up to 14. And Hurd fouls Gregory way outside the arc. That'll take us to our under 4 timeout. Fast-paced action here in the season opener between the Pack and the Spartans. They have gone back and ruled the Middlebrooks 3 a 2, so that's why your score is 1 less than when you left for commercial break. Back with Casey Morsell, I'm Andrew Sanders. All right, Casey, 5 games in 5 days. How you did it and kept the legs, fresh enough to win the title, we'll never know. But this run with those 5, there's 6 teams in the ACC that have won the national title. You beat, obviously, NC State in 74 and 83. You beat the other 5 during that run.
Yeah, I mean, it's essential to treat each game as its own championship, right? Like, when you go into it, you're not thinking about going into the championship game. You got to get past the very first round first. And that was the approach, right? I mean, heading into it, I remember we were going on our bus to D.C., and before we went on the trip, Kevin Keats came in our meeting, and he wrote 0-0 on the board. And from that point on, that put us in a mindset that, okay, we're just like every team in the country. Every team is 0-0. And we were able to treat each game like its own Super Bowl, and we were able to have a run that we will never forget.
And the energy, the emotion, the vibes, whatever, momentum, whatever you want to call it, as pass knocks down the 3, it just keeps building. Exactly. At what point do you guys realize, like, hey, we got something special going on here?
You realize it. Well, okay, Michael Connell's shot was a big-time shot for us. But when we had just seen so much, right? Throughout the run, we had faced a total of 11 elimination games.
Blocking foul. O'Connell was out of the restricted area. Our officials tonight, Eric Lewis, Adam Flore, and Grant Toady. The 2 free throws coming here for Jones. All right, but obviously, yeah, that shot's a pretty memorable one.
That is a pretty memorable, you're right.
By the way, I was watching the highlight of that, getting ready for this game, just refreshing myself. It was you that pulled in the rebound off of the missed free throw and threw it ahead to O'Connell.
I was surprised because there was a 90% free throw shooter at the line, and he had missed it. OC, I had to kick ahead, but that was a special moment because we were down 6 with 45 seconds in that game. And the fact that we pulled that out, that showed nothing but it was destiny.
Free throw lips out. Middlebrooks grabs it with 2 hands. Just over 2.5 minutes to play. A 14-point lead here in the first half for NC State. By the way, coming up at halftime, if you missed the open of the show and the banner unveiling here at the Lenovo Center, we're going to play that for you again at halftime. So certainly make sure you stick around. Parker Jr., tough move and finish.
Strong move by Dennis Parker. Did a great job putting a combo together to get to the paint and finish over the smaller defender.
Middlebrooks whistled, and 2 more shots coming. A lot of downhill stuff for the Spartans here. But if you look, you are already a very popular guy around Raleigh, but after the 5 wins in 5 days, after the run to the Final Four, your life changed. I mean, to say you're a celebrity right now in Raleigh, everybody coming up to you at the game, that would be an understatement.
It definitely feels good being home. Watching the banners hang down, it's a great feeling to come back and do this in the great city of Raleigh. There's nothing like it.
More free throws for the Spartans, where they've been really good tonight. 12 of 13 from the stripe. Good deflection. Mr. Dean got his hands on it. Jones lost it, stolen away by O'Connell. Mike O'Connell to the rim.
Mike O'Connell's been very aggressive tonight. He's doing it all, shooting it well, getting in the paint, adding a great spark to this NC State team as we expected.
What does it bring to a team when you got a veteran like that, a 5th-year point guard?
It's easy for him to rally the troops together, right? He's one of the most experienced. And as we see with this lineup, there's 4 returners from that Final Four team. And the chemistry is unmatched. They're all on the same page, even with the rotations. especially on the offensive end.
8 points now for Carmani Gregory. Yeah, he's been dangerous off the dribble tonight. 70 seconds left. So that pick and roll action, Middlebrooks with the layup. O'Connell's got 9 points, but he just added his 4th assist as well.
Ben Middlebrooks is doing it all. His experience playing at Clemson too also gave him a great advantage coming here to state.
Parker Jr. with the block, and he saves it to pass. He'll shoot 3.
Breon,
again, missed the exhibition with a light injury. He looks healthy, and he's still got the hops. And this could be a big year for Breon Pass, Casey. And we were talking during practice, senior year now. You were telling me we haven't seen him in his NC State career. Has never started, but he's a knockdown shooter from distance.
This year is the year he could potentially start at some point. NC State is going to need a lot from Breon Pass and his scoring, his playmaking, and his leadership. You know, one thing that Breon Pass is starting to do a lot more this year is being vocal, leading the guys, telling guys where to go. And the fact that he's out here being aggressive, getting to his spots, it's something that NC State definitely needs.
They're reviewing here. Is this a 2 or a 3? From that angle, I think pretty clear it's a 3. And Breon had 4 points against Purdue in the Final Four. That's a very short list of people that have scored in a Final Four.
Yeah, for sure.
And gives him some confidence coming into this, his senior season. So it should be, we determined, should be 3 free throws. Casey, has this been kind of what you've expected so far from this game, both teams pushing tempo?
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely as expected. You know, I think one of the surprising things is how many guys Keats is playing. I know one thing, he is still trying to figure it out. But it's good to see guys like Breon Pass, you know, Dennis Parker, different guys who, you know, didn't have much of an opportunity last year, coming out, stepping up, and helping his team, putting his team in a great position heading into halftime.
Spartans got to go quick here, and they do break the timeline with 2 to go. Parker Jr., another block. And O'Connell wants to use a timeout with 20 seconds remaining. Talking about, you know, Coach Keats playing a lot of different guys. 8 newcomers, potentially 7 making their debut. We've seen 6 so far. And Dennis Parker Jr., not a newcomer, but again, missed him during the postseason. Didn't see him in the exhibition, but just giving you a taste of what he can bring to his sophomore year.
And even though
the depth of this team right now, Casey, standing out.
And even though he didn't play much in the postseason, he was still a guy who started a good amount of games for us. So there's nothing new to him being out here playing in this arena. And like you said, with so many new guys coming in, NC State looks like they're starting to figure it out on what works well for them. And they're going to have to build on it heading into the second half.
All 3 freshmen have appeared so far. Again, we won't see Mike James tonight. Won't see him for at least a couple of weeks. Could be 2 to 4. We have not seen Ismail Duff yet. The transfer from Canada, the junior from Quebec. But 50 points in the first half. NC State using a timeout here. Talk about this last possession.
I do think they're looking to go to Dontrez Styles. Dontrez Styles is one of their leading scorers. And when he was out there, he had a heat check moment where he was getting hot early. Due to foul trouble, he was dismissed from the game.
So back out there for offense with the 2 fouls. It's pass. Both Parkers, Trey and Dennis, O'Connell and Styles. They spread it out for pass. Gregory, good if it goes, and he got it at the horn. They say count the basket. I'm sure it'll be reviewed, but as it stands, a 3 at the buzzer to cut it to 15 as we head into halftime. It was an exciting first half. It was an exciting pregame. As I'm sure the reviewers can't tell from that shot. Casey, you think he got it off in time?
Fortunately, that looks good. That looks good. Looked like he got it off in plenty of time.
So they're going to review. We'll go to the halftime break. Again, stick with us. We'll show you the banner unveiling. The ACC Championship and the Final Four banner. That's coming up next here on the ACC Network Extra.
Here's the first free throw on the way, and rims off, no good. Rebound, Porcel to O'Connell. O'Connell with 1 second, left wing 3 on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it! It's good! Horn's got it, he'll dribble out the clock, and the Pack's gonna win. 73-65 the final. NC State goes to the ACC title game for the first time since 2007, and will try to become the first 10th seed to win the ACC championship.
It has been quite a story here in Washington for this group of NC State players. Now, though, they take on an in-state rival, the top seed, Horn opens, and what a start for the Pack. Ahead to Diarra. It's been 37 years since this program won the ACC Tournament Championship.
Well, this is an ACC Tournament Championship that will never be forgotten.
And let the celebration begin in Raleigh.
We're going to Pittsburgh.
Fans, turn your attention now to the rafters as we unveil the ACC Championship banner. Join in the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Following the ACC Tournament Championship, the Wolfpack captured the heart of the nation as Coach Keats and his squad battled through the first and second rounds to advance to the Sweet 16 in Dallas, where they knocked off Marquette and Duke to advance to the program's first Final Four since 1983. Now, join us in unveiling a banner to commemorate that trip to the Final Four in Phoenix. Count it down. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your 23-24 NC State men's basketball team, making history for the Wolfpack.
It's a 15-point lead for NC State over USC Upstate here at halftime in the season opener at Lenovo Center. Yeah, special night here in Raleigh. Andrew Sanders along with Casey Morcell. Look, we saw the banners unveiled. Let's get a look at the hardware, though. You got your rings on tonight.
Feel good, man. Aren't they
That's
shining?
the ACC Championship ring.
Yeah, this black one is the ACC Championship. and the silver one is the NCAA tournament or the Final Four one. As you can see here, I think Kevin Keith designed this ACC championship ring. It's a little bigger and it stands out a little more.
So he's got the 2 rings. Look, you're watching the first half here, your broadcast debut. Your thought on what we saw in the first 20 minutes?
Well, one thing is that this NC State press is speeding up USC Upstate. As you can see, their press is disrupting the tempo, forcing USC Upstate to play fast. And NC State is propelling off of USC Upstate's turnovers, getting a lot of easy baskets. And it's guys like Mike O'Connell, Dontrez Styles, Breon Pass, these are all guys who are scoring at a high clip off of these turnovers. Each of those guys are combining for 9 points and 6 assists total. And it's been a major spark for NC State in that first half.
Season opener, the banners unveiling. Big night here in Raleigh. We'll step aside. More to come from halftime. The Wolfpack with a 15-point lead at the break. Halftime between NC State and USC Upstate, and a 15-point lead for the Pack, fresh off of a Final Four, the celebration of last year's team, the start of a brand new season. 20 minutes in. We'll be back with second half action after this. Band is rocking here at the Lenovo Center. It's a 15-point lead for NC State over USC Upstate. We're ready for the second half. We've got highlights for you from half number 1. NC State had 3 players score 9 in the first half. Michael O'Connell, Breon Pass, and Dontrez Styles making his Wolfpack debut. The Georgetown transfer, Casey, I know he impressed us both. What stood out to you about his game in the first 20?
Well, just his versatility, right? He can guard multiple positions, and he made his presence known early by putting pressure on the rim, getting second chance opportunities, keeping the ball alive. Dontrez has only played a little over 7 minutes, and he's at 9 points. And, who knows what he could do as he gets more time out there in the second half.
Yeah, picked up a couple of fouls. That limited his time in the first half, but he was off and rolling. And really, even when he went out, you think, oh, a guy's cooking. Now he goes to the bench with foul trouble. You said at the time, Casey, I remember you said, somebody else is going to have to step up. It was O'Connell, it was Pass, and I mean, as a team, 65% in the first half.
That's big for NC State, right? I mean, they're getting great shots. I mean, second chance opportunities, scoring a lot off the drive, just getting easy baskets and not shooting tough shots. I mean, that's been essential for them in this first half, and that's going to be a major factor for them to close out this game.
Meanwhile, for the Spartans, Carmani Gregory had the ball in his hands a lot. 11 first half points, 4 of them from the line. That's really where they fared very well. 12 of 13 from the free throw line as they were able to get downhill and attack NC State. And we saw some flashes of this team executing, the Spartans executing exactly the way that they want to. See if any adjustments are made here to start the second half. Underneath, they get a layup from Mr. Dean.
He's just full of energy. He's always active, always wherever the ball is. Mr. Dean has made his presence known tonight.
13 minutes in the first half. He now has 8 points. Huntley Hatfield comes and sets a ball screen for Hill. He gets downhill and scores. And they're going to pause the action here to get the perspiration off the floor as Huntley Hatfield hit the deck right before he set that pick on the ball. But it's an encouraging sign from Marcus Hill Jr., the senior from Rockford, Illinois. Again, led the MAC in scoring last year. He was a big transfer pickup. NC State, you think back a couple of years ago, you played with Terquavion Smith. He could get a bucket late in the shot clock. DJ Horn last year was able to do that. This team, they're still going to have to find, who can be that go-to scorer in late clock situations.
Yep, and that'll take time. That'll take time. One good thing about Marcus Hill is that he's letting the game kind of come to him. Yes, he averaged 20 last year at his previous school, but he's not out here trying to force and get that 20 piece. He's letting it come natural, and that's something that's very valuable to this NC State team in the first half.
12 on the shot clock. The Spartans have to inbound it all about 90 feet away from the bucket. Gregory seems to be that guy for the Spartans that's going to have the ball in his hands. Blows the layup. He's going to have the ball in his hands, looking to create late in late game, late clock situations. Hill, spin move, scores.
Marcus Hill once again doing a great job, putting a lot of pressure on the rim. That's something he loves to do, is get in the paint and finish over defenders.
Dean hangs in the air and finishes over Huntley Hatfield. Tough take by the freshman. Coach Richter told us he is just the nicest guy, but he plays with some aggressiveness on the court. Taking it at the NC State defenders. Huntley Hatfield tips it up. Kanye Jones rises up for it. Two minutes elapsed, second half.
USC.
Jaden Taylor got a hand on it.
As we saw in that play, Upstate looking to run a lot more ball screens in the second half. That's something we saw from Coach Marty Richter during his time at Drake. They ran a lot of ball screens, and that's something that propelled them to go on major runs during his 6 years there.
Dean was reaching up for the basketball. They call a hold on Hurd. Bryce Hurd, the freshman. Well, you saw Taylor got his hand on it, number 8. Hurd, number 7. Last year was when the rule change went into effect that you could wear any number now. Hurd, the first number 7 in NC State basketball history. This is the 115th year Wolfpack basketball. Taylor, the first number 8. Casey, you had that option last year, but nobody on the team last year. We got another whistle here. Nobody on the team last year went with one of the new numbers. Did you consider it at all?
I never did. I wore number 14. I wore it in high school, and you know it worked well for me at NC State. And I was just like, you know, why not stick with it?
Fans getting a little restless here as NC State's been called for a couple of fouls in the early going.
Once again, we see Mr. Dean all over the court. He's staying active, keeping the ball alive. He's scoring 12 points in this game in his freshman debut.
We've got to start a campaign for him. You know, I was seeing online as Hill has another strong take. He's starting to get hot. I was seeing online, you know, the all-name team of Division I and D2 and D3, some great names across the country. Can we start a campaign? I didn't see Mr. Dean on that list.
Mr. Dean.
He has got to be on that list as one of the best names. Jaden Taylor running the floor.
It's good to see Jaden Taylor get involved, scoring his first buckets tonight.
He's going to be such an important piece for NC State his senior year, what he brings offensively, but also he was vocal last year about he wanted to take on that defensive role. He wanted to be, he said, the DPOY, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. There's not that many guys that take that kind of pride in playing defense. Casey, I know you did.
Jaden Taylor was a guy who took a lot of pride in getting stops on the defensive end. He had a symbol where he would put up a lock symbol whenever he got valuable stops. And, you know, that's something that every team needs. Every team needs that high-level defender. And I think he's starting to improve on that more this year than he was last year.
Hill, the hesitation and the lay-in. But he's showing us something here in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
Marcus is super aggressive, super aggressive.
8 points in 3.5 minutes. That's the thing about elite scorers, right? I mean, it doesn't take them long.
He came out of halftime in a different mode. In that first half, he looked like he was just trying to figure it out, feel the game out. Second half, he's a new player.
O'Connell to the bench, Trey Parker in along with Taylor and Hill and Hurd and Huntley Hatfield. And a foul underneath as Huntley Hatfield pushed by Helterhoff.
Huntley Hatfield's tough to keep off the rim. Has an excellent feel for tracking which direction the ball comes off.
Huntley Hatfield. That's his first missed shot, fighting to get it back. And a whistle and another foul. Helterhoff again. Again, we said earlier, look, he's got his hands full tonight. And that's his third foul.
NC State is just playing physical, right? I mean, as you see from Brandon Huntley Hatfield, keeping the ball alive. I mean, it's looking like they're just starting to attack them down low.
No-look pass from Parker. Spartans spotted that. Another deflection. That's Skinner on the perimeter before Johnson reaches in. And now the foul's starting to accumulate on the Spartans. That's their fourth of the half. For Johnson, that is his second. Drive and kick. A Taylor three is left short. This is Harris. Britt Harris into the paint. Book, the lefty hook, not there. Huntley Hatfield's got 8, and they're really establishing him and getting the ball into the painted area.
Strong move by Huntley Hatfield. Has a smaller defender more on him. Scoring easy baskets at the rim. That's something that NC State is doing a lot this game. They're scoring a lot of easy baskets, which has propelled them to get a significant lead.
Hatfield's got 8 tonight. He scored 13 a game at Louisville a year ago. After the turnover, Parker, no-look lob, and Hurd. How did he put that in?
The young fella is starting to get going for this NC State team.
Timeout. USC Spartans. Casey, I think they're having fun.
They're having a blast, as we can see from Bryce Hurd.
NC State has opened up a 64-41 lead here. Early going second half. Marcus Hill with 8 points already in the half. Back with ACC champ Casey Morsell. I'm Andrew Sanders. NC State coming out with full court pressure out of the break. Harris able to push it ahead into the front court. This is Book. And the Kiwi forward back to Harris with 15 to shoot. Floor spacing not great for the Spartans. Doesn't matter. They get it to Carmelo Atkins for the three.
And even though USC Upstate made that shot, NC State's pressure has made this USC Upstate team very uncomfortable.
It's the first career basket for Atkins, the freshman. Deep three, Parker. It's his second of the game.
Trey Parker showing a lot of confidence. Even though it's his first game, it looks like he's been here before.
If he's going to knock down the three to go along with, you know, his explosiveness that gets all the impressions online on TikTok and Instagram, as Harris cues up a three ball, not this time. But then to add in, Coach Keats says he thinks he could be a lockdown defender.
Trey Parker hitting shots clears up opportunities for him to drive and be explosive at the rim. But as you mentioned, he can be a really high-level defender. He has a good feel for guarding and keeping up with guys. And it's essential for him to be as complete as possible.
Didn't hit the lay-in that time, but to your point, right? That time he gets closed down on shot fake and a blow-by. Harris shoots over Parker, and he was stripped. It'll be 2 shots for Harris when we come back from this media timeout. 8th year for NC State head coach Kevin Keatts, who didn't like some of the foul calls. He was having some fun with the refs as we were going to break. And Casey, you probably know him better than anybody. No player under Coach Keatts has started more games for him at NC State than you. What can you tell us about the leader of the Wolfpack?
Well, you know, it was a great opportunity starting the amount of games that I did here at NC State. You know, it was just cool to kind of see the build up and us figure things out as time went on last year. You know, it was cool to figure out a recipe that worked. We had tried so many different lineups throughout my time here. And the fact that we figured something out to where we could hang us 2 banners, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, figuring it out is an understatement. That was just an incredible run that it didn't just take Raleigh by storm, but, you know, the entire country captivated by it. You ever think about that? You saw the numbers that you guys played in front of on TV against Duke. It was like 12 million.
You know, it's crazy because, like, when you're in it, you try to block it out, right? I mean, literally, when you're in it, you're so focused on the next game that you kind of, it's delayed when trying to realize the impact that you have on the community. So it was cool to come back once we had got back from the Final Four, to come back and just see all of the support that we had each time. I mean, NC State fans were very supportive throughout the run and throughout my entire time at NC State.
Spartans trying to go quickly against the pressure, and Book able to bank it home. Second basket for Book, his first 4 points in his career. Now, earlier when we were showing off the hardware, the rings, the ACC championship ring has some ice cream scoops on it. and that was, you know, the 5 scoops, right? 5 wins in 5 days. 3 ball for Kanye Jones. Too strong. Parker. Showtime to pass.
It's good to see Breon Pass get going.
But you said you found a recipe that works. I do have to ask, what was your ice cream order after ACC Road Wets?
I was very simple. I got the same thing every time. But usually it was vanilla, and I had to add sprinkles because that was essential.
That's the scouting report. Vanilla with sprinkles. Pass in and out. A steal by Book. Jones was still hanging on the cylinder there, and that'll take us to the under 12. It'll be Wolfpack ball when we come back. NC State's gotten out running. Breon pass. Trey Parker putting on a show. Well, the depth of this new look NC State team has been on display with some balanced scoring. 5 players with 8 or more points. Hill with 8 points just in his half alone. He had it all in the first 3.5 minutes of the half to push him up to be the leading scorer, along with Mr. Dean, who has 12 for the Spartans. This is what you want to see if you're NC State.
Exactly. You're going to want to have balanced scoring if you're this NC State team. Still trying to figure out who could be the primary or go-to scorer. So the fact that they're balanced is a step in the right direction.
O'Connell knocked down a couple of threes in the first half. That was a calling card of that Final Four team a year ago. Is some nights it was going to be you. It'd be DJ Burns or DJ Horn, maybe a Jaden Taylor. What did that do for your team that it wasn't one guy having to really carry that 20-point-a-game scoring load?
Yeah, it makes you tough to guard. You know, playing with a guy like DJ Burns, DJ Horn, they draw a lot of attention. And the fact that, you know, other guys can step up on different nights, it just makes it tough because, you know, you just don't know what to expect if you're the opposing team.
McNeil, the freshman, inside. They've been doubling the post all night. Good ball movement finds Taylor for a 3. And it's Marcus Hill on the recycle. Baseline drive.
Marcus Hill has been super aggressive in this second half.
Gregory continues to get to the rim with a quick answer. He's got 13. So for USC Upstate, hey, we got to push underneath, and that's going to be the fourth on the big man Helterhoff. And again, they're without probably who would have been their starting five, Braylon Garcia. So really thin at that position. And it looks like Helterhoff's just going to stay in with that fourth foul.
And Braylon Garcia's absence is definitely significant for USC Upstate. As we talked with Marty Richter earlier, I mean, his activity on the defensive end is expected to provide a different spark for this USC Upstate team.
Gregory bowls over O'Connell. It'll be a blocking foul. And that should be a 1-and-1. No, pardon me, they put that foul up quick. So that is the 6th foul. Spartans will be in the bonus the remaining 10.5 minutes of this game. And again, that's where they've had a lot of success at the line tonight. 16 of 17 from the free throw line. Deep three, Gregory. Well, he's hit just about everything else tonight. Casey, Marcus Hill, he really is able to change his speed well.
Yeah, as we see on that play there, probing, that change of speed makes you tougher to guard because you just don't know what to expect as a defender. And Marcus Hill, he puts a lot of pressure on the rim, taking full advantage of USC Upstate's lack of defensive presence at the rim.
Hill into double figures. He did that 31 times last year, but maybe more impressively, he scored 20 or more at Bowling Green 19 times. 19 of his 34 starts.
It's tough to
at
do.
20. And he had 30 3 times. Does not hit the free throws there. Dean was disrupted by Taylor. In a season opener, the officials, right? The fans don't like a softer foul call. As a player, you know the officials are going to try to set the tone in the early part of the season, right?
Exactly, right. I mean, these officials want the game to be as clean as possible. And some officials do prefer the game to, let the guys play a little more. And in this game, I mean, these officials have done a phenomenal job keeping the game clean, and all the players are protected from physical play.
Speaking of, Mr. Dean's going to be called for a foul here. He's holding the jersey. NC State in the bonus.
Mr. Dean has a bright future with this USC Upstate program. He's going to have to build on his game tonight, making his presence known on the offensive and defensive end.
13 points in his collegiate debut. And doing it against a Power 4 opponent. He's going to get plenty more opportunities. They play, obviously, tonight here at NC State, at Virginia Tech and Blacksburg. They go to Winston-Salem and play Wake Forest. So 3 ACC teams. At Iowa, that'll be a homecoming for Coach Richter. He's from the state of Iowa. And again, was just at Drake for 6 years. They'll play at South Carolina, too. So they will really be tested before they go into Big South play as Book gets an uncontested layup. As a player, did you prefer for them to let you play a little bit, especially as a guy that could really lock down defensively, or did you prefer a tighter whistle?
I prefer to play. I was definitely a
I figured, but I didn't want to assume.
I was definitely a physical defender, and there's nothing worse than getting pulled out of a game for cheap fouls.
That's just something early on, just like you're feeling out the other team.
Yeah, you definitely.
Something you feel in the game, hey, they're calling it this way.
Exactly. And you usually feel it out after that first one. After those first few fouls in the game, then you usually have a good idea, okay, these are the types of refs that we have tonight.
Hill's going to come out, pass in there along with McNeil and Taylor, O'Connell, and of course Huntley Hatfield, who made the first and gets the second as well. Allow NC State set up just a little full court pressure from Breon Pass. Gregory out there with Skinner and Dean and Book and Adkins. Big man running the floor, you got to feed him.
That's something that we talked about earlier. Brandon Huntley Hatfield is super light on his feet. He can run in transition, guard multiple positions. What can he not do?
Skinner pours in the three. Isaiah Skinner, who shot about 35% from the bonus sphere a year ago at Mount St. Jacinto College.
One thing we learned about USC Upstate is they're going to play hard to the very end.
Huntley Hatfield called for an offensive foul. And that was something, an issue he had against Lise McRae in the exhibition that was too close for comfort for NC State. But yeah, he makes the free throws, he runs the floor, he can step out a little bit too. Great question, what can't he do? And so you get a little teaching moment here for Coach Keats. The only thing that can stop him maybe is foul trouble.
Foul trouble, exactly. That's something that he's always struggled with. Even at Louisville, it's foul trouble. Because he is so physical, sometimes he could be overly physical, and that can propel him to get in that kind of situation.
So the offensive foul away from the ball, that's his fourth. O'Connell picks the pocket of Gregory. Euro step, and Taylor with the lay-in. NC State shot at over 65% in the first half, and they really haven't cooled off much. And it's hard to cool off when you're getting those kind of looks.
That's something that NC State is looking to do. They're looking to run in transition and get easy baskets, as we've seen there from Jaden Taylor.
Carmelo Adkins made a three earlier. He's 2 for 2 from the floor. Cross-court pass to Breon Pass for three.
Breon Pass is so confident. That's something that he's improved on a lot this offseason.
Breon Pass makes his second triple. He's got 14 points now.
Huge night.
His previous career high 7. It's a career night. His senior year just getting started, passing the Wolfpack. Well, not much more than a month ago, both North and South Carolina so impacted by Hurricane Helene. And the Spartans were huge in the relief efforts in the Spartanburg area of South Carolina as they went to schools, helped feed the community. Their home court, the GB Hodge Center, was open for the community to shelter in. It is estimated that, as they had power there off a generator, they were able to save up to 80 lives for those in the community who needed power for ventilators, other medical devices. And so the impact of the Spartans on their community, huge.
It's good to see teams get out and make a difference and be more than athletes. I mean, there's so much going on in terms of preparing for these games. And the fact that they made time to go out and have a difference or make a difference in the community shows how much they value people around them.
Coach Richter, again, just his first year. This is his first game as the head coach. The new era for USC Upstate. And he said most of the staff without power for about 3 days after Hurricane Helene. The players living in the dorms, they were without power for about 5 days. Taylor will go to the line here. And so really great to see all of the outpouring of support to our neighbors, in Western North Carolina, in the upstate area.
It takes a village. It takes a village to all come together and recover for something like that. And the fact that members all over North Carolina and all over from surrounding states came in and chipping in little pieces just to overcome this storm.
Jaden Taylor makes the free throw. He's now matched his jersey number, 8 points here on opening night. Well, for an NC State team that had a 19-point lead at halftime in their public exhibition against Lees-McRae, saw that lead disappear as the second half went on. It's been a much better second half for them as they've been able to extend the lead here over the visitors from Spartanburg.
I think one thing they learned is to continue keeping up high energy. NC State got comfortable in that last game. And as you see in this game, they're continuing the pressure, which leads to easy opportunities on the offensive end.
Pass playing with confidence. There's Middlebrooks cleaning it up. A 9-0 Wolfpack run in the last couple of minutes. The lead is ballooned to nearly 30. And I think, is this on Adkins? It is. Away from the ball, the foul, another look. Eight points now for Middlebrooks, along with 6 rebounds.
It's a lot of movement for NC State, which clears up easy opportunities. And once again, we see Ben Middlebrooks finish strong at the rim.
Earlier in that possession, what they've done a lot tonight, they doubled the post. That time, Middlebrooks got soloed up. Look, you played with a guy last year that drew a lot of double teams. What does that do for you on the perimeter?
Clears up a lot of opportunities, And that's something that USC Upstate is trying to get NC State to do, is shoot jump shots, which is why they're doubling. But NC State is still finding a way to take advantage of USC Upstate's lacking rim presence.
So Middlebrooks into double figures, now 4 for the Wolfpack. Pass and Hill, the leading scorers at 14. Book with a strong drive, and there's Stiles. Met him at the rim. And an offensive foul on Book as pass was tripped up, trying to get around his screen. Last year, during your historic run, Mo Diarra was a huge piece of that with his rebounding, his shot blocking. He can score 2. There's a lot that goes into playing the 4 for Coach Keats.
Well, in my opinion, playing the 4 for Coach Keats is the best position, honestly. I mean, because you get so many opportunities to, just for spacing purposes. You get opportunities to drive, opportunities to shoot in transition. And something that we did last year with Mo Diarra was drag screens, which propelled him to get a lot of pick and pop opportunities, which puts a lot of pressure on the defenders on the opposing team.
Breon Pass got a nice hand. Again, a career night for him. Shattered his career high. Previous was 7. He's got 14. McNeil going to work. Middlebrooks again trying to clean up. Tap not there either, but he saves it to McNeil. Interesting. So you feel like, in your opinion, that's the best position. It puts you in a good spot. So Styles, and we've also seen Dennis Parker Jr. there in that spot tonight, and they flourished.
Well, if in the pick and roll opportunities, right, if you switch, usually the 4-man can have a smaller guard on him, which is what NC State took full advantage of last year.
Styles over the back. He'll pick up his 4th foul. I don't know if Britt Harris knows this yet, but these are going to be some pressure free throws. Or pardon me, they're still in the 1-and-1. There is a free chicken promotion. Get a free chicken sandwich, you missed 2 free throws.
This place gets loud for the free chicken.
Styles comes out. Parker Jr. replacing him. So Harris makes them both. Harris behind his back. Got to get rid of it. It's Adkins. Carmelo for 3. And McNeil's going to be going to the line looking for his first career points when we come back. The under 4 timeouts.
One of my favorite things about this game tonight is the performance of Breon Pass. As we can see here, doubling his career high with 14 points. And he's just taking his aggressiveness to another level. He's played significant minutes tonight, a little over 20 minutes, and he's taking full advantage of the opportunity. He's shooting, putting a lot of pressure on the rim. He's a huge asset for this NC State team.
He has looked comfortable, to say the least. The senior from Reidsville, North Carolina. You know, he scored over 2,200 points in his high school career at Reidsville High School. Speaking of an elite high school scorer, there's Paul McNeil's first point as a college player. Drew McConnell dumps it down low for Book. Adkins with a nifty move. Almost had it taken away by Middlebrooks. 9 to shoot. Harris took it in amongst the trees and was lucky to get it back. Mr. Dean to the line.
NC State has done a better job in the second half with closing out, realizing that USC Upstate hasn't been shooting well with less than 20%. They're short closing, forcing USC Upstate to shoot tough shots.
Mr. Dean calmly knocks in the first free throw. And the fans of Chicken not happy. .90 points for NC State, just under 3 minutes left.
Mr. Dean, once again.
He's going to come out. If that's the last we see of him, he gets a high five from Coach Richter. And if that's the last we see of him, Dean comes out, 22 minutes, 13 points in his first collegiate game.
As we see Kevin Keats starting to clear his bench, go further down his bench, this is more of an opportunity for guys to showcase what they can do to gain more minutes as the season advances.
Atkins, deep three, rims off. Parker with a long outlet. Oh, Middlebrooks got landed on. And in that, I think we got a foul here on Middlebrooks.
Ben plays hard.
I was a little confused there, at least from our vantage point. I thought he was just on the ground and got landed on, but the fans here are fine with it. They want another shot at a sandwich.
We see KJ Keats has checked in the game. You love to see it if you're NC State.
He missed them both.
This place is rocking.
One of the loudest roars of the night. Let's see if they can't get KJ Keats a shot or two before this game's over. Skinner, second effort for him.
One thing I know for sure is KJ Keats is definitely looking to score, okay? He didn't have the opportunity to score last year. And the fact that he's out here with a significant amount of time to get good looks up, I know he's been waiting for this opportunity.
Skinner at the line for one. Parker going to come out. Jordan Snell will come in.
Those are some nice pink shoes he has on.
Two of the returners for NC State. It'll stay here. You know, Casey, we've talked a lot about last year, and understandably so, right? There's two shiny new banners up there, but bringing back quite a few guys, having to replace a lot, yourself included. You were one of the leaders on the team last year. Who do you see as maybe taking over in a leadership role?
Yeah,
from the returners.
For sure. Mike O'Connell and Ben Middlebrooks, I think those will be the two main leaders because they played the biggest roles on our run. And also Jaden Taylor. They add so much experience and they know exactly what Kevin Keats is looking for.
McConnell turns it over. Parker throws the alley, and Hurd throws it down, reverse jam. .65 seconds remain. A step back, McNeil, his first career three.
Good to see the young fella score.
So we're starting to see, right, we talk about, look, there's 7 guys playing in their final year of collegiate basketball, but it's Parker and Hurd and McNeil. They're really excited about these 3 freshmen.
They're a young group. They're a young group. And one thing that's good to see is that they're playing with a lot of confidence. You know, after each made shot, they're screaming boom. And, you know, there's just a lot of passion that they're playing with. And, you know, it's significant that they keep that same confidence throughout the year. It's a long year. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. But keeping that confidence is going to take them a long way.
How was your confidence as a freshman? When did things start clicking for you, where you realized, hey, man, I could play in this league?
Yeah, I mean, it starts on the defensive end. When you figure out you can guard guys, then things get easier. Because at the end of the day, all of these coaches in the country, they're all looking for guys who can guard at a high level. And that, you know, there's always an opportunity whenever you can play defense.
Good pass by C.J. Rich. He's the only returner from a year ago to have played. He gets the assist there. Fans want K.J. Keats to score it. Adkins breaks the timeline with 7. Maybe one more shot. Trey Parker will dribble it out, and NC State starts the season 1-0 with a 97-66 win over the Spartans. On what was an incredible night here, just to open this season, right, as basketball fans, we have been waiting for the start of the season, but for NC State fans, ever since your team went on that run a year ago, they've been waiting to see the new banners. And an historic night here as both the ACC and the Final Four banner high atop the rafters here at Lenovo Center. Your thoughts on tonight, Casey?
NC State had a lot of fun. You know, they guarded well and stopped USC Upstate from getting confident later on in the game. I mean, they made them super uncomfortable, disrupted the tempo in all areas, and NC State took full advantage of it. They were complete, and they learned a lot from their exhibition against Leeds McCray.
4 players score in double figures, including a career high by Breon Pass. 14 points. A look at the top of Lenovo Center with 2 new banners. A brand new year, and NC State starts it 1-0 with a 31-point win over the Spartans. For my partner, Casey Morcell, our fantastic crew here in Raleigh, I'm Andrew Sanders saying good night. This has been a presentation of ESPN.